Hey everyone, CPO here, and I just kind of have a little bit of a rant, and I hope you don't mind me doing this, but I spent the day in DC today, and because of that, I have to change how I carry. So I'm legally permitted to carry a concealed weapon in Washington, D.C. I live in Maryland. I don't live in D.C. I don't have a D.C. concealed carry permit, although I could get one pretty easily. But I'm allowed to carry there thanks to the Law Enforcement Officer Safety Act, which was enacted in 2004 and then improved a little bit in 2010 and then again in 2013. Anyway, long story short, I am allowed to carry a concealed firearm in those jurisdictions, regardless of the state law restrictions on concealed carry. Obviously, I have some hoops to jump through to make that possible, but and I can carry ammunition that may even be prohibited in certain jurisdictions. But what the Law Enforcement Officer Safety Act doesn't do, it doesn't allow me to avoid magazine limits in certain states. So in the state of Maryland, there are no possession limits on magazines. So my standard capacity Glock magazines are 15-round magazines, perfectly legal for me to carry and possess here in the state of Maryland, although there are restrictions on the sale and transfer of those in the state. But if you already own them or you get them from outside the state of Maryland, you are allowed to possess them and carry them. So standard capacity Glock 15-round magazines, Glock 19, and that's what it comes with. That's the way the manufacturer designed it. But there are a lot of places, a lot of jurisdictions, New York City being one of them, Washington, D.C. being another, New Jersey, a lot of the states most commonly famous for infringing upon Second Amendment rights have decided that these are evil and that law-abiding citizens such as myself should be limited to 10-round magazines. So let me make the swap here back to my normal carry magazines. But so when I go to Washington, D.C., I have to put in 10-round magazines, and so I have two of them, one for the pistol and then one as a spare, that are reserved exclusively. They even are marked so that I can tell readily which ones are which without having to look for holes, so that I'm staying within the law when I travel and carry in Washington, D.C. I mean, it's ridiculous that the people who are in charge of writing these laws and then voting them into existence and making them enforced upon law-abiding citizens, I now have to make a decision on whether or not I'm legal with this or this just to travel across state lines. And you know what stinks is, as a law-abiding citizen, those laws put all of this pressure and burden on me to do the right thing. But why? Why is it that society is safer if I have this in my gun versus this? Why is everybody so much better off if I have this instead of this? And the answer is they're not. They are actually no better or worse off because I'm carrying a standard capacity magazine versus a restricted 10-round magazine. And the real problem is that the people who really we want gun laws to put boundaries around, we being lawfully abiding citizens, we want the bad guys to have to deal with these laws, but they don't. You don't think that a guy who has a gun, all right, who has a Glock 19, legally or illegally, doesn't matter, but has it for bad intentions, whether he carries it when he's not legal to do so, or he specifically carries it because he wants to cause harm to somebody else, do you think he's the one that's going to look at the law and go, oh wait, I'm not allowed to have a 15-round magazine, so I'm going to go buy some special 10-round magazines so that I can stay within the law, the magazine law. By the way, I'm probably illegally carrying a gun, or the use of that gun, right, to commit a crime is illegal in and of itself. Murder is illegal. Robbery is illegal. So these magazine laws, all they do is put the burden on me, the guy trying to do the right thing, the average citizen, the father, the husband, the business owner. I'm just trying to protect myself and my family. And God forbid, if anything happens, perhaps innocent bystanders around me. And I'm the one that is constantly having to step over political booby traps set by people who for some reason feel like the world is safer because I have this and not this. So anyway, I don't understand it. I don't like it. I don't know if I have a point with this video other than to say, if you are a lawful abiding citizen, you're the one that has to figure out how to navigate these things. So make sure when you travel to jurisdictions that have magazine limits, make sure you know what those are. Make sure that you understand the laws, not only where you live, but where you're going. And, do your best to stay in those, because really all of that pressure is on us to do the right thing, even though everybody's trying to further and further restrict us and box us in and separate us from our inalienable rights to self-defense and the right to bear arms. So the burden's on us. The guys, with a stroke of a pen can enact a law that the very bad guys they think they're trying to stop don't even know about. They're not going to look it up. I have to research to find out what the legal limits are when I travel to Washington, D.C. I need to know, can I have my 15-round magazine, or do I have to have a 10-round magazine? Do you think random bad guy is going to do that? No, they're not. It just doesn't even make sense. But you do the right thing. You do your research, understand the laws, try your best to stay within them. There's a lot of we will not comply movement sort of happening, and I don't disagree with that on a global level. I think as a people we should fight against people who are trying to strip us of freedoms and rights. But at the same time, I have everything to lose. I have a job that would go away if I was convicted of a gun crime. I have a family that would be impacted if I was convicted of a gun crime. So the burden is entirely on me to make sure I'm doing the right thing, even though in my heart of hearts, I know it's totally ridiculous. So anyway, that's it. Don't even know why I made this video. I was just changing out magazines when I got back home from DC and thought, why is it that society is so much better off because I have this magazine instead of this one? I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.